I hold 4 amateur kickboxing titles, and this is my very first title shot as a professional. It's the IKF Bantamweight Muay Thai title belt, so I'm really excited to hopefully get it. But it'll be my first chance at a title shot, and I plan on getting a 5th belt. I haven't fought in Chicago in about 3 years. I'm really excited to fight in my hometown with the crowd behind me. This will be my first fight in Chicago since I've done so much nationally, you know, with Fight Girls and the World Combat League, and then also fighting, you know, hosting Combat Wire. And my family, they don't travel with me when I fight, so this will be the first time that they've seen me fight in about 3 years. So I'm really excited to get to fight, you know, in front of my family. Fight Girls really boosted my career. Actually, it gave me, it's like now anything I do, I can be like, oh, well, I was on Fight Girls, and it automatically gives me that, like, oh, okay, you know, credentials. And then everything has just kind of snowballed since then. You know, after Fight Girls, I started fighting for the World Combat League, and then, you know, Combat Wire actually, the producer of Combat Wire saw me on Fight Girls and knew I was from Chicago and sought me out specifically for the show. So if it wasn't for Fight Girls, you know, Combat Wire never would have happened for me. So it added to my credibility for sure. You know, I lost my first 2 fights, and I know a lot of it. My very first fight was 6 months after I started training. I wasn't ready to fight, but I wanted to fight. And I actually went into a national tournament and fought a girl with like 12 fights. But after the first 2 losses, I just kept thinking in my head, I'm like, I'm not a loser. I'm not a loser. Like, I'm good. I know I'm good. And I could have, you know, quit. It would have been really easy to quit and been like, I'm no good, but I believe in myself, and I train hard, I work hard, and I was like, whatever, you know, I lost my first 2, but I'm not going to lose anymore. Yes, August 9th I was scheduled to fight for the XFO. It would have been my very first MMA fight, but, you know, they didn't have an opponent for me, and I'm a very experienced fighter, and you know, I have a lot of fights, and I've also had a lot of fights not happen. You know, a lot of fights scheduled, and then I don't have an opponent. And with not having an opponent and having the opportunity to fight a Muay Thai fight in Florida, which I ended up taking the fight in Florida because I had an opponent. It was a for sure thing. I would rather fight than not fight. You know, I really wanted to fight MMA, but I had an opponent for Muay Thai, so I had to take that. I went with my heart, you know. I follow my heart all the time and go with my gut feeling, and I think I made the right decision. But I would have loved to have had my very first fight on the XFO card. I've been talking to many different promoters. A lot of promoters want me to fight on their shows. I was actually, you know, talking with Elite XC, then they kind of went down. So, you know, whatever happens, happens. Sometimes you just gotta go with the flow, and you know, not, you know, I'm not locked down to anything, I'm not tied down to anything, I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens and who gives me, you know, the best opportunities. I have a very, very good gym, Midwest Training Center in Schaumburg. I have really great training partners. I work my wrestling, I work my jiu-jitsu, I work my takedowns. There's a whole lot that I'm working on, and I train the ground game. You know, I train as now I have this fight coming up, the Muay Thai fight, so I've really been focusing on that. But other than that, I really am training, you know, 6 days a week on, you know, the wrestling, the jiu-jitsu, everything. I like to fight at 115, between 115 and 120, but in the World Combat League, there's only one weight division for females, so I had to fight at 128. And a lot of the girls, because there's only one division, a lot of the girls cut from about 140, 145 to make 128. And my very first fight in the World Combat League, I was weighing 117. I had to weigh in with all my clothes on just to make the low end of the weight. So I wasn't technically at weight for the World Combat League. But I just go where the opportunities are at. That's another reason why I've been so diverse with my fighting styles. I've gone from kickboxing to boxing to Muay Thai. I fought, in the World Combat League, I fought so many different fighting styles because I just want to fight and I just want to be given the opportunities. And there's not as many opportunities for girls, for women, so you just have to kind of go where you can take, where you can take the opportunity.